Why does saying, "I'm fine" sometimes start the biggest fights in your relationship? You're both speaking English. Same words, same room, but somehow you're not being heard. What if I told you the problem isn't what you're saying? It's that you're speaking two completely different emotional languages? Picture this. Your partner comes home from work, stressed, tense. They walk past you, go straight to another room, and nothing. Radio silence. So you follow. "Babe, talk to me. What happened?" They get quieter, more distant. "Are you mad at me? Did I do something?" And now you're both frustrated. They're pulling away. You feel rejected. And neither of you understands why this keeps happening. Or maybe it's the opposite. They come home and immediately start telling you about their terrible day, every detail, every frustration, and you, because you love them, you jump straight into solution mode. Okay, here's what you should do. First, talk to your manager. Second, set boundaries. Third, and they cut you off. "You're not even listening to me." But you were listening. You were trying to help. Here's the thing. These fights, they're not actually about the dishes or the bad day or who said what. They're about something way deeper. You both care. You both try, and yet you keep completely missing each other. And the question that keeps you up at night is, why can't we just understand each other? What if I told you that you and your partner are literally speaking different emotional languages? Not like English versus Spanish, I'm talking about fundamentally different ways of processing stress and showing love. Psychologist John Gray figured this out decades ago, and men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Now here's the thing, while the book talks about gender differences, these patterns show up in all types of relationships. Gay, straight, doesn't matter. What matters is the pattern, and the pattern is this. There's a communication translation framework that explains why good people who genuinely love each other still completely miss each other. 3 core principles. That's it. Master these, and you don't just prevent fights, you transform confusion into actual compassion. And here's the best part. You don't even need your partner to know about this for it to work. When you change how you communicate, the entire dynamic shifts. Let me show you how. First principle, the cave versus the well. When people get stressed, they split into 2 camps. The cave people, these are the ones who, when something's wrong, they retreat. They go quiet. They need space. They disappear into their metaphorical cave to process alone. They're not ignoring you. They're not punishing you. They're processing. And they'll come out when they're ready. That's just how their operating system works. The well people, opposite end. When these people are stressed, they need to talk it out. They need to verbally explore their feelings. They circle the same topic 10 times because that's how they find clarity through connection. They're not being dramatic. They're not looking for you to fix it. They're self-regulating through conversation. Here's where it gets messy. The cave person isn't mad at you. They're just in their cave. The well person isn't being needy. They're just in their well. But when cave meets well, without understanding, disaster. Cave person goes quiet. Well person follows them. "What's wrong? Talk to me. Why won't you open up?" Cave person retreats further. While person feels abandoned, cave person feels smothered, and 3 hours later you're in a full-blown fight about something neither of you can even name. Sound familiar? Here's the shift. If your partner is a cave person, you need to stop chasing them into the cave. I know it's hard. I know every instinct says pursue them, fix this, don't let them pull away. But that's exactly what pushes them deeper. Instead, try this phrase. "I can see you need some space. Take the time you need. I'm here when you're ready to talk." That's it. Give them explicit permission. Remove the guilt. And then, this is crucial, go do something else. Don't sit there anxiously waiting. That creates pressure. Go read, call a friend, take a walk. Use that time productively. If your partner is a well person, you need to stop offering solutions. I know, think you're helping. You think problem solving equals love. But what they actually need is your undivided attention. Put down your phone, turn off the TV, look at them, and say phrases like, "Tell me more about that." That sounds really frustrating. How did that make you feel? I can understand why you'd feel that way. Notice what you're not saying? You're not saying, "Here's what you should do." You're not saying, "At least it's not as bad as." You're just listening. And here's what's wild. That's exactly what they need. I watched a couple implement this. Used to fight for hours every time one of them had a bad day. Now, 10 minutes. Because the cave person says, "I need an hour to process. I'll find you after." The well person says, "Okay, I'll be reading." No drama, no rejection, no 3-hour spiral. Just two people speaking each other's language. That's the power of understanding whether you're cave or well. Second principle, the translation gap. This is where it gets really interesting. The same sentence can mean completely different things depending on who's saying it. What sounds like a problem to solve might actually be a bid for empathy. What sounds like criticism might be a request for connection. You're using the same words, but you're speaking different languages. Your partner says, "I had such a terrible day. Nothing went right and I'm exhausted." What you hear? "Fix my problems. Tell me what to do." So you respond, "Okay, tomorrow. Here's what you should do. Prioritize differently, delegate more, maybe talk to," and they interrupt. "You're not listening to me, but you were listening. You were trying to help." Here's the translation. What they actually meant was, "Connect with me emotionally. Acknowledge what I'm going through." The right response? "That sounds really draining. I'm sorry you had such a rough day. Want to tell me about it?" Then shut up and listen. That's it. That's the whole thing. Or try this one. "We never spend time together anymore." What you hear, you're failing as a partner. "You suck. I'm criticizing you. So you get defensive." That's not true. "We literally just went out last weekend." You're always exaggerating, and now you're fighting. But here's the translation. What they actually meant: "I miss you. I want to reconnect. I'm asking for more of your time." The right response? "You're right, and I miss spending quality time with you too. Let's put something on the calendar right now." What sounds good? See the difference? Same statement. Two completely different responses. One creates a fight, the other creates connection. So here's your translation formula. 3 steps. 1, pause for 3 seconds before responding. Just 3 seconds. Don't react instantly. 2, reflect back what you heard. It sounds like you're feeling frustrated about work. It sounds like you're wanting more time together. 3, ask, don't assume. What would be most helpful right now? Would you like me to just listen, or are you looking for suggestions? That last one is a game changer, because sometimes they do want advice. Sometimes they just want empathy. But if you ask instead of assuming, you'll never get it wrong. Here's your week 1 challenge. For 7 days, respond to every complaint or problem your partner shares with only empathy. No advice, no at least statements, no minimizing. Just, "That sounds hard. Tell me more." I promise you this one change will transform your entire relationship dynamic. Third principle, the score-keeping secret. This one's gone to mess with your head a bit. Ready? In relationships, every thoughtful gesture counts as 1 point. Doesn't matter how big, doesn't matter how expensive. Taking out the trash? 1 point. Buying a car? 1 point. Making their coffee? 1 point. Planning an elaborate vacation? 1 point. I know what you're thinking. That can't be right. Big gestures should count more. But here's the thing, they don't. Not in how your partner experiences love. Let's say you worked overtime all week. You saved up. You bought them this amazing, expensive gift. In your mind, that's like 100 points, right? Maybe 200. So you think, great, I can coast for a while. I can skip the small stuff. I've earned it. But here's what your partner experiences. 1 point for the gift. -1 for not doing the dishes. -1 for not asking about their day. -1 for being on your phone during dinner. -1 for forgetting to pick up that thing they mentioned. Net result? Despite your sacrifice, they're feeling resentful. And you're confused because you just gave them this huge gift. The truth is, small things count more because they happen more often. Each small gesture communicates something critical. I'm thinking of you. I notice what you need. You matter in my daily life. I'm a reliable partner. Your partner doesn't feel loved by the vacation you took last year. They feel loved by the coffee you made them this morning. So here's what you do. Make a list of 10 small things that would make your partner feel cared for. Maybe it's making their coffee, texting them midday, asking about that meeting they were worried about, putting your dishes in the dishwasher, picking up their favorite snack, giving them a hug when they walk in, sitting together for 10 minutes without phones, saying thank you for something they always do, asking how can I help when they look stressed, letting them choose the restaurant. Your goal? 3 to 5 of these. Every single day. Week of Small Gestures Challenge. Monday, leave them a note. Tuesday, handle a chore they usually do. Wednesday, bring home their favorite treat. Thursday, give them a genuine compliment. Friday, plan something small they enjoy. Saturday, take something off their plate without being asked. Sunday, express appreciation for something specific. I'm telling you, this will have more impact than any grand gesture you've ever done. And here's the beautiful paradox. Stop keeping score to understand the score. Give without expecting immediate return. Notice their gestures without comparing them to yours. This is how love becomes sustainable. Not through occasional grand gestures, through consistent small acts. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds manipulative, like I'm calculating everything I do. I get it, but here's the reframe. This isn't about manipulation, it's about awareness. You're not pretending to care, you're learning how to show care in a language they actually understand. Think about it like this. If your partner spoke French and you only spoke English, would you just speak English louder? Or would you learn French? This is the same thing. You're learning their language. My partner should just accept how I communicate. Sure, acceptance is important. But if you actually want connection, if you want to be understood, someone has to bridge the gap. The question isn't who's right. The question is, do you want to feel close to this person? This framework gives you the power to change the dynamic yourself. You don't have to wait for them to figure it out first. This seems like it's putting all the work on me. I hear you, but here's the truth. Healthy relationships are reciprocal. But you can't control your partner. You can only control yourself. When you change how you communicate, your partner naturally responds differently. You're not doing all the work forever, you're modeling a new pattern. And honestly, most of the time when one person starts translating, the other gets curious and joins in. You're not being a doormat, you're being the leader. All right, so how do you actually implement this? I'm going to give you a 30-day challenge, 4 weeks. Each week builds on the last. Week 1. Awareness without action. Don't change anything yet. Just notice. Is your partner a cave person or a well person? When you communicate, are you translating or just reacting? Where does the score-keeping break down in your relationship? Journal prompt, when did we miss each other this week and why? Week 2, translation practice. This week, active listening only. Use those empathy phrases we talked about. Tell me more. That sounds hard. How did that make you feel? And here's the rule. Resist all advice giving for 7 full days. Track one thing. How does your partner respond differently? Week 3. Small gestures, implementation. 3 to 5 small acts every day. Use that daily points list you made. Make coffee. Send a text. Handle a chore. Give appreciation. But here's the key. Don't announce them. Don't keep score. Just give. Notice how the atmosphere in your home shifts. Week 4. Integration. Combine all 3. Cave well awareness when stress hits. Translation in your conversations. Small gestures as your daily practice. And add this. The Sunday evening reset. 15 minutes. Every Sunday night. Ask each other, how are you feeling going into this week? Is there anything from last week where you felt misunderstood? What can I do this week to support you? I've seen couples transform with this. Before, same fight. Different day, Groundhog Day of conflict. After 30 days, not perfect, but fundamentally different. They speak each other's language now. Conflicts resolve in minutes instead of hours. Connection feels natural instead of forced. And remember, you don't need your partner to do this with you. When you change your communication, the relationship changes. Start with yourself, the rest follows. So let's bring this home. Your relationship conflicts, they might not actually be about what you're fighting about. They're about speaking different emotional languages. Cave versus well, solution versus empathy, grand gestures versus daily acts. 3 principles. 1, respect their stress language. Cave or well, both are valid. 2, translate before responding. What are they really asking for? 3, small gestures compound. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Here's what this framework does. It transforms frustration into compassion. You stop taking their communication style personally. You start connecting in the language they actually speak. And here's what surprised me most. When you learn to do this, you don't just improve your relationship. You become a better communicator everywhere. At work, with friends, with family, because you've learned the most valuable skill there is. How to speak someone else's language instead of waiting for them to speak yours. Here's what I want you to think about. What if the person you love has been speaking to you in their language this entire time and you've been waiting for them to speak yours? What would change if you learned their language first? Drop a comment. Are you a cave person or a well person? And more importantly, what language does your partner speak that you've been missing? Take the 30-day challenge. Report back. Let me know how it goes. All of this comes from John Gray's Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. If you want to go deeper, that's your starting point. The book's been around for decades because these insights are timeless. Because here's the truth about relationships. The ones that last aren't the ones without conflict. They're the ones where two people become fluent in each other's languages. So what are you waiting for? Learn their language. Transform your connection.